We need some of this. Okay. Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Yes, we're still on day 4 and this is the second session of today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as I say that, I would also like to say share, 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 please. Please share this with as many people as possible. As you know, or if you're just joining us for the first time, this is History Makers Training, February 2019. And the theme of this History Maker is how to structure and plan your life for the next 25 years. So to plan your life's goal. So that is also involved, not just plan your life, but plan your life and structure your life with a goal. So here we are, day 4, second session. The last session was with Pastor Bosse Adelaja. If you didn't join us for that session, please, we have all the sessions available on YouTube. Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So YouTube, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook, you're already on the right page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and we are also on YouTube, so you can watch on either platform that you prefer. And also, guys, you can share this. If you're on YouTube, you can just copy the link and share it on your WhatsApp or any other platforms that you would like to share, or you can share. And if you're watching on Facebook, just click the icon that says share, and there are 5 various methods that you can share on there. Please, I'm going to ask you again, share, share, share. Right. I didn't tell you my name, but my name is Mayowa Olaya. So I'm going to go ahead now so that we don't take much time to pass the microphone or the camera straight to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So today, this second session is with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So join us and ask other people to join us. I will see you again later. Bye. Okay.
You wanted to talk about the books?
No,
or
I
you
didn't.
already did?
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I'm giving her a few minutes.
Yes, I was trying to save time, guys, so that we can get on with the teaching. But in any case, right, this is also important. I remember something that Pastor Bosse said. Not Dr. Bosse, but Pastor Bosse said in the last session, after my introduction, is thinking about the topics of these books alone is enough to ponder on for as long as possible. That's one book on in itself, just thinking about the topic. So the first one that I have here is Who Will Attend Your Funeral? These are the books that are the books for the theme of these teachings. There are many books that Dr. Sunday have written, and we have them also available in WhatsApp. We can send you in the distribution list of WhatsApp, the list of books. So let us know if you want the list of books. But here, this first one I'm showing you is Who Will Attend Your Funeral? I mean, it's a real food for thought here. Who will attend your funeral? I thought about it for a few seconds, and then, I just let it quickly disappear in my mind. But I'm not afraid of death, but it's not just about death. It's actually about what you live for. So this is a brilliant book. Don't be afraid of death. Or there's another book, actually not on this list, if you're afraid of death, that you can get. It is something about the fear of death. But we can send you the list.
How to overcome the fear of death.
How to Overcome the Fear of Death. Brilliant book as well. And then maybe after you read that, you can probably read this as well. But here's a first book that I'm showing you right here. And then we have another book. I love this topic. And like Pastor Bosse said earlier, just thinking about the topics alone, this one is The Plague of Silence. The Plague of Silence. We have talked about that a lot. Dr. Sunday have talked about the Plague of Silence. In fact, I didn't know much about the Plague of Silence until I started listening to Dr. Sunday. So this is a brilliant book, and there's also messages, video messages and audio messages to accompany this. But it's a brilliant book as well, The Plague of Silence. Another great book, How to Regain Your Lost Years. The title again says a lot, How to Regain Your Lost Years. It doesn't matter how old you are or what your life experience has been so far, you still have, everybody has lost years. And this book will help you to step by step on how to regain those years. And here is one of the loved books. You already know about the Elijah Challenge. So Dr. Sunday had the Elijah Challenge in December. It was a great challenge. It empowered a lot of people. It's actually taking fear out of all the other people as well in different spheres of life. The Elijah Challenge is a brilliant book. I think that everyone needs to read this, especially if you're afraid of things or there's information or things that bothers you in life. The Elijah Challenge is a great one. And I have this other book as well, What to Do with Your Time. I said earlier in the previous program that everyone, especially young people, are always saying that they don't know what to do with their time or they're not doing anything. So here is a book for you, What to Do with Your Time. And especially this topic or this theme of this HMT would also help you with what to do with your time. Once you set goals, then you know how to manage your time as well. So What to Do with Your Time is a great book. And finally, I'm going to show you the 6 books, Life's Greatest Secret. I mean, everyone wants to know what life's secret is, but to know the greatest secret is another level. I think it's a brilliant book. Like Pastor Bossa said, each title alone is enough to ponder on. And this one, Life's Greatest Secret, I'm curious to know what life's greatest secret is. So this is one also to pick up. And Valentine is coming up, guys. You don't have to get chocolates and ladies as well, excuse me, and ladies as well. You don't have to get chocolates. You can also get books. So some of these books and many other books that Dr. Sunday have written would be a good present for Valentine's Day. And you don't have to get your fiance or partner. You can also get friends, family, mothers, brothers, sisters, also Valentine gifts, not just lovers. So here we go. I'm going to hand the mic to Dr. Sunday and we shall proceed today. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Bye.
I'm lucky with the Valentine because Valentine is 11th. I mean, it's 14th.
14th.
And Pastor Bosse's birthday is 11th.
Yeah.
So we all go together.
2 in 1. No.
2 in 1. Okay. All right, guys. Here we go. I hope you hear my voice very well. So I want to welcome you back today. I was supposed to come back in the next 3 hours or 2 hours, but here I am. Here I am now. Here I am now, baby. It's for the better because I might actually be able to finish up on the teachings. And so those of you who are expecting me to come back a bit later and you are also planning to come to continue this series a bit later, well, you have to catch up a little bit. And I'll thank God the video and the recording will be there. So here we go. Let's go back to our class of yesterday. I'm going to start from the beginning. How to organize your life around your goals. What do you see right now? What do you see in that title as we discussed yesterday? I would like you people to react very fast. Raise your hand and tell me if you have an idea. What is that title telling you about? Okay, microphone. Yeah, Alan. No. Always wait for the mic before you speak.
You have to have goals in life.
Okay, that you have to have goals in life.
Goals in life, long term, short term, day-to-day goals.
Good. Okay, any other person, just from that title, you remember how I explained the title yesterday? Yes, Ola?
That the life is the fuel and the goal is the purpose.
No, but you are not speaking a big grammar idea because most people at home, I don't think they will quite understand. That's a good description because that's the word I use, the fuel. Can you explain it for people who are look? What is that? What does that mean? That life is the fuel.
The goal is the purpose. So
Good.
And then the life, organizing your life around the purpose.
No, but you also put them separate. Goal, life, organize.
Organize.
You know, there are 3.
Yeah.
So just explain the fuel part also.
The 4 parts, yes. So as you're meandering, you need power. You need.
Okay, so
you need
the
a
goal
push.
is the purpose.
The goal is the purpose. The life is the fuel.
Okay.
The
Okay,
force.
which is then more important? Because that's the key right there.
The more important one is the goal
Aha.
because that's the purpose.
Okay.
And organizing it is the tools
Okay.
that you need
Right.
with the fuel to get to destination.
What about the life?
The life is the fuel.
Okay. So now put them all together. Tell us again, just in one.
So you need the tools, the
No,
organizing,
start with the most important thing.
the goal
Okay. Is the
is the purpose,
which is the most.
which is the most important.
Okay. Then.
Then the life
Okay.
fuel, that's
Okay.
the fuel, the
Right.
power, the gas
Right.
that propels you.
All right.
And organizing is the tools that you need.
Okay. Beautiful. You mentioned all the important stuff, but I want somebody to be able to say or explain it like a teacher would do. Can anybody do that? Okay. Al wants to try.
Okay, so how to organize your life goal, how to organize your life around the goal. So the goals is your life purpose. That's the reason why you're on earth. You've been packaged to come to this earth to fulfill a particular purpose. Now the life that you live is the fuel, is the medium, is the vehicle which you are able to achieve those goals. And it is secondary. It's not, you are not living the life just for life itself. You are on earth with that life to achieve those goals. And the organizing
Secondary
part,
to the
goals. The life which you live is secondary to the goals. It's just the medium or the fuel or the vehicle which with you achieve those life purpose or goals. And the organizing is the skill sets which with you need to achieve those goals with your life.
well said. Well said. Very, very well said. That's very important. Okay. All right. So then I went ahead to speak about Harvard, the example from Harvard. Who remembers that and who wants to tell us what happened with the story, with the Harvard story? Ola again, eh? Yeah, Ola wants to go for it. You have to be fast enough. Now,
Okay. So
wait,
this-
not just you, not you.
Oh.
I'm talking about others. You all have to be fast in raising your hands. That is one of the reasons why you came here. And that's one of the things that HMT will give you, to be proactive. Because I have a book that is called How to Win in Life. Now, How to Win in Life will tell you that there is a set of people that win in life and other people don't win in life. And one of those points is that you win in life. The people who win in life are the quickest, fastest, people who respond fast. You must respond fast, quick, fast. You have to be faster than others. That's why in the Olympics, the only people who get the gold medals are the fastest. So it's quick. So we train you to be quick here, to respond as well, because otherwise people will push you off the road. Because, that's our life. In real life, people don't wait for you. And they don't wait for your turn. They push you off the road. So, if you are just going to be alert and respond quite quickly and fast. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so with the Harvard example,
So this time it's only Ola that is winning so far. In that competition of life.
so with the Harvard example, 100% of the people were surveyed, and it was discovered that 3% of the people set goals and had plans written down. 13% of the people had goals, but they didn't write anything down, and 84% of the people did not set any goals or write anything down. And we discovered from that the 3% actually were the ones that were not the.
Why don't you start with the 13%?
The 13.
How much did they do better than the 84%?
Oh, they did twice. They did 2 times better than the 84%.
Okay, that's important.
It's very
but
important.
don't create an impression that they didn't do better.
They did 2 times better, but the 3% did 10 times better than a combination of the 13 and the 84%. So generally, you find out that the 3% are usually the jet setters. They're the movers and shakers. They're the ones that the 13% and the 18% will work for.
Yeah.
Understandably, the 13% would manage for the 3%,
Yeah.
and the 84% will be the majority in the lower echelons of
The Uncle South
the-
slaves.
they'll be in the lower echelons
Yeah.
of the society. Yes.
All right. Very good. Very good. Well, does anybody want to add to that? Okay, I think she did so well. Nobody wants to add. Okay, so you got that. But another question in regards to this, Harvard, what lesson does that teach us, though? In line with our topic this week, okay? Pearl.
So I think that the study is teaching us that in order to be great achievers, we must not only have goals, but the goals must be written down, and
not just written down.
and not just written down, but there must be structure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That way.
Or structure to achieve those goals.
Beautiful.
Those are the people that achieved the greatest success.
You wanted to add to that?
I said
Okay.
the word is structure.
Yeah. Okay. So now we go to where we stopped yesterday. We saw a pyramid yesterday. Okay. Who wants to talk to me about the pyramid?
You talked about the main value of life is about glorifying God.
But where is it located in the
It's
pyramid?
it's like the foundation.
Okay.
So the foundation is you glorifying God, you living a life that's pleasing God. That's like the main value of life for everyone.
Okay.
And that's like I just said, the foundation. But then the next step, which you now brought in the example of in our DNA, is written everything about our purpose.
Individual now.
Individual. So then the next step from there is now your own life's purpose, the reason why you are here.
That is the second,
The second,
which is what do we call it?
the global life purpose.
Yes. You wanted to add to that, okay?
Because I learned so much from the pyramid yesterday. The first thing I got from my understanding from the pyramid is God has a big plan, and in that big plan, He made us to fulfill that plan on earth. Now, the fact that He made us, each and every one of us has a part in that plan to play.
His own puzzle, eh?
A part in that plan to play. So basically, I came to understand that life is not the end, but just a means to the end. So basically, God, because of His big plan, gave us life and also gave us a part of that plan. So our life is actually meant to be used to achieve that plan. So even before we step into a place of trying to understand our purpose, the first thing we must understand is that it is all about God and all about His plan. So once we understand that it is His plan, we are on earth for His plan, then we can begin to understand, we can begin to find our own path in that plan. So once we understand our part in that plan, we can now begin to ask, okay, what platform do we want to use to accomplish that plan that God has as part of His big plan? So that is where we now begin to pursue that purpose and begin to understand that our life has been given to us, like she said, as a fuel, but also as a tool to use. So basically,
our life is only a tool, a means to which end? To God's
plan, God's big plan.
So God's plan is the end.
Is the end.
We are the means.
We are just the means to that end. So we begin to, that will not help us not to live for ourselves, because
or for things.
The challenge I've had with purpose, like I was mentioning yesterday, was when you read books that take away the God factor.
Motivational books.
It all becomes, what they do is that they wrap up your ambition
As your purpose.
as your purpose. So basically we are,
They remove God's factor there.
yeah,
So you become the head in yourself.
yeah. So
And that ambition will keep on changing.
yeah, so like when I was doing reflection and the assignment with God, I discovered that I'd always wanted to start from layer 2 instead of layer 1. So because
Why? Because you are not aware of the layer 1.
yeah, it wasn't clear. It wasn't really clear. It didn't click because we know that okay, God created the world, He gave us dominion and all that. But at the end of the day, when you talk of purpose, it's always about your life. Your life. What is my life's purpose? Instead of asking God,
But
what
that
is
will
your...
make it egocentric again.
Yes, that will not make it egocentric. And I've always said, how do I separate my own ambition or my, so that I want to do something, but I know what I want to do is not just for me. But it was a struggle. But it just clicked yesterday. It just really clicked that the first thing I should be asking first.
Oh, they
is
want
God,
you to speak into the microphone.
the first thing I should be asking is, God, what is your plan? And what is my part in that plan? Then once I understand it, I will now know my purpose and now start following. But once you take that away, then it all becomes of, okay, what do I want to become? Or what do I want to achieve? It now becomes about me.
Yeah.
What do I want to achieve? You know. So I got a lot of confusion because I have always been that type running about purpose, and that's one thing that attracted me to Miles Moreau, because when I heard him talk about purpose, because I've always been asking, what is the meaning for life? Where do we come from? Where I've just been asking, but in a very scattered way. But he now started helping me to bring it into a form of structure. But there was also always that missing link. I wrote it down. I said my problem was because I've always started from layer 2. I've always just wanted to jump in.
But everybody is saying the same thing.
What do I want to be in life? What do I want to be? Without thinking that, look, your life is not given to you to achieve your purpose, but your life is given to you for God's plan. So your focus should be pursuing God's plan. So, and that's why it now made sense now that when I read your book, Who Am I said I'll have to go back and read the book with this new understanding. Because when I was reading the book, I was reading it from the same prison
Of layer 2.
that of layer 2. That's what I was reading it from. So now I have to go back and read it. But it now made sense to me now that when you were saying that even what you study in school, even what you plan to become must be centered around not what you want, but in the service of His kingdom.
What he wants.
What He wants. So if you are going to school, for example, to go and study engineering, it should be that you have discovered that God is calling you into engineering to use your life in engineering. Then you now go to school to enhance the knowledge for that purpose.
So that you'll be able to perform.
Not just going there you want to make money, because the whole idea was, sorry I'm taking your time, but the whole idea was, because we had this concept
Because the reason I'm going to give you all the time necessary to explain it is because I don't know the dilemma, that people have this kind of dilemma. I thought it's clear. So, but when you are saying it now, I see that people are connecting. So, because you have gone through this dilemma, so you are telling people exactly where they have been.
Yeah.
So you are helping them to come out of that. So I really need you to be explicit.
Yeah.
So that everybody could see themselves and say, but that's the same mistake I'm also making.
Yeah. Because growing up in the Nigerian religious setting, I don't know of others, but this is what I had in my mind, that there was a secular life and there was a spiritual life, a religious life. So what a lot of people do, and myself was doing, was you walk in the secular life, you bring money to support your spiritual work. And that's why they say you have to work and pay, support the church, support the ministry. So there was that divide, and that's one confusion we also have, because you feel that to serve God and fulfill your purpose, you have to do it in your spiritual arena.
Okay.
You have to do it in that side. It doesn't touch this side. This side is just your secular life. You just be a doctor, be an engineer. That has nothing to do with your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is on this side of the spiritual dichotomy, I mean, whatever. So it's always been but when I now read your book and you are now saying that even what you do here in the secular must be because of your understanding of
what God wanted,
God
you,
wants.
what He packaged you for.
So it just dawned on me that almost everybody, or 95% of everybody that go to school, have no idea why they are even going there in the first place. They just feel I'm going there to just go and get education. But that education you are getting has no relation to your work with
destiny,
God,
to your calling,
to your call, even to your relationship with God. It doesn't. You just feel that has nothing to do with God. You hear people say, my secular life, my spiritual life, whereas there's only one life that God has given us. So it's been a major challenge. I've just been like, groping through the dark, trying to find my way.
Now tell them what the right way it was supposed to be looking like.
Okay, the right way, what I understand now is this. First and foremost, we should understand that it is not about us. Because the idea started from God. He initiated the idea of creating the world, creating life itself. It means if He created the world, He had a purpose. His purpose, not anybody, His own purpose. Now, when He created life, He now wanted, an agent to actually go into that sphere and carry out that purpose.
On earth.
It's just like a big pie. That is His goal. He now created us and divided that pie, big pie, into little chunks and gave it to each one of us coming into the world to fulfill His own part of that big pie. Now, what we should now be doing is to first of all understand, first and foremost, what is the grand plan, the grand scheme of God,
Father.
of the Father. Then once we understand that grand scheme, it's now easier for us to understand the little parts that we have to play. Once we identify that, then everything we do in life, including education, including if you have to get married, including if you have to
have
children must be to fulfill that little part.
Because you want to fulfill.
Because you want to fulfill that little part. So even the woman you want to marry, the man you want to marry must be somebody that will work together to fulfill that little part. You help yourself to fulfill your own little part. The children you give birth to, you are grooming them, growing them to also identify their own little parts. And together as a family, you are supporting each other to fulfill your own little parts of that equation.
Yes.
And going to school is also part of the understanding
because
that
you know what you need to do.
I want to
so you are going to enhance.
It's just the enhancing of the tool that He has given you to actually fulfill that part. So He just made the triangle yesterday for me, just especially when you said the life was a fuel. I was like, because I've always seen, our life is the ultimate.
Wow.
Just fulfill your purpose.
Is the other way around.
We keep saying your purpose, but it's actually God's purpose.
Yeah.
It's not my
Only
purpose.
your part.
It's my part in His purpose. So I keep saying my purpose. And you see, preachers will tell you have to pray, you have to fast. And majority of us have made that mistake in the past. You'll be praying and fasting, waiting for God to speak audibly or to show you a vision that this is, not knowing that it has been in you. Okay, I've heard the concept that it has been in you, but nobody has actually gone beyond to actually tell you, okay, it is in you, but what can you look at? What are the things you can look at? What areas can you search to actually know that, okay,
how to identify
how to identify it? So it's been, the world is in darkness. The world is in darkness.
I think it was Adiola yesterday was saying it, that the world is in darkness. She made the same observation that 90-something% everybody is just in darkness.
The world is, and you said something yesterday which I agree, because even those who have been able to discover themselves as long as you are still missing the foundation
foundation.
layer, it's still a waste, because you are using the tool to do something,
To
but you are
pass,
doing something
to
not
pass
for
physics when you are supposed to be passing
exactly.
mathematics.
So it means everybody is just like only a very few have been able to get that layers from the first and the second layer, and without that, there's no pyramid. No wonder now I'm understanding Jesus will say, "I never knew you." They've worked all their life, they've done everything,
But to strengthen your argument that you just made now, you know, the Old Testament is a picture of things to come. Everything you just explained now, you know, it's the same thing that was told us in the Old Testament. But people don't look at the Old Testament holistically. They look at events, little events, and preach from it. But what he just said right now is that God, he said, I brought you out of Egypt so that I might bring you in. All right, so God gave us life for a purpose. He deliver us from sin for a purpose, so that he might bring us into the destiny that he had planned for us. But then, when the children of Israel, when he did that for them, they got to the land of promise. It's not just abstract. Then the land of promise itself, which was the pie, the big pie, the God's purpose, had to be divided tribe by tribe. Then at the end of every family, by every person has a piece of the earth that is supposed to restore. So I delivered them. He said, let my people go, that they might worship me, that they might be the altar from in the land of promise that I'm taking them to. So he's released you, but there is a piece of the earth that you are supposed to restore for him, where you are supposed to bring his glory. Just like they had to, he said, so that they might worship me in the wilderness, so that they might worship me there. So there is a place, a piece of the earth, a piece of that cake, of that pie. Why? It is your obligation, your gift, your talent that will cause that piece of the earth to worship God. That will cause that piece of the earth to experience the glory and the presence of God. And that is what calling is about. So just like when they got there, they didn't just say, oh, the children of Israel, we are in land of praise. No, God was very meticulous. Every tribe, every family, everybody, the piece of the earth has to be, you have to cause this place to be developed. This piece of the earth, you are cultivating it, just like Adam cultivated Garden of Eden. I take responsibility for it. So that's the way everybody who is a person, an individual in Israel, has a piece of the earth. The same way when we have come to the kingdom of God, even though we are many, even though the church is many, but everybody has a piece of the earth where he's supposed to bring the glory of God to. That he's supposed to restore for God. Now the big plan of God is to fill the earth with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. And everybody has a piece. So why should he come to live in us? So that he came to live in you, so that you will be the kingdom carrier, the glory carrier. So his glory is in you, his kingdom is in you, not for decoration though, because we even forget. It's for us to be able to take it and use it to dominate the earth, so that the earth as well and all of creation will experience the glory of the sons of God. The glory that you experience in salvation, the earth also needs to experience it, because they were in bondage, not willingly, but as a result of the sin of man. That's what made them to be in groaning and gnashing now, the whole of creation. So it is man, or sons of man, sons of God, that will now bring that deliverance to them, to the earth, to all of creation. Just like, we were the reason that made them to go into that captivity in the first place. So anyway, the basic thing he said is that God has a plan, so to give the land of promise, for people to be restored, and for it to become land that is flowing with milk and honey. But people have to do that. The glory of God has to fill the earth. So he had that agenda, had that plan, set you free, arrange you, give you, package you, how do we say, customize you, package you in a way, custom made you with some gift, with some talent, that you, for the assignment that you are supposed for, that your peace that you are supposed to restore the glory of God to. So education, therefore, is to develop, enhance that ability that He has given unto you, so that you'll be effective. So the primary goal of being here on earth is not marriage, it's not children, it's not making money. I could make money, but for it to help me be better placed to conquer that piece of the earth that God has given unto me. I might marry, but only because it will help me, enhance me, and help my partner to also be able to conquer that piece of land that she is responsible for. So everything. So that's what we call arrange your life around your life goals, the purpose for which God sent you here. So everything you do in your life is all about bringing to pass. So when people are talking about shilling, party, we are going to shield, when they are doing birthday, that's what people do. They're just going to shield and dance and do steps in church. They are going to church to do steps. They don't get it. Even going to church should be to enhance your purpose and so. So if it's not enhancing it, it's distraction. It's a waste of time.
I'm so excited. It's just so clear. It's just so clear. Just like Chris was saying, we've been taught to start from level 2, and it's just so clear.
My God.
It's just so clear. Coming here, I was just thinking, I still don't get this purpose thing. I just couldn't work it out. But just now, because I was like, oh, why is there say here now? You should be here at 3. But I'm just so, I just get it so much, and that's why in the church, as an engineer, they want you to leave it there and not bring it here, and they're not telling you that the teachings here you can use it there to impose the kingdom. No, I'm an engineer, so leave it there. It doesn't have anything to do with God. But meanwhile, I've gone to study, I've got the skills, but how come I'm not supposed to bring God into my profession? I'm just supposed to come here and be spiritual. So what's the essence of my life? What's the essence of my life when the main purpose was to bring God's kingdom into everything?
Everything.
As it says, like so, the yeast.
Yes.
So I'm supposed to infiltrate everything. But we're not taught that way. We're not taught that way.
It means you've not been taught the gospel of the kingdom.
We haven't been taught the gospel of the kingdom.
Only the gospel
so
of
you find, I know somebody who is a medical doctor, everything, but got into church life and left everything. Like as if in the hospitals, she cannot impose
the kingdom
of God. Because they thought, oh, you just have to be the fivefold ministries. You just have to be a pastor. You have to be in the ushers and all that. So, you're thinking, so I went to medical school for all these years and all that. So people start living a frustrated life in the church because clearly they were not fulfilled. Clearly they're not fulfilled, but they're just going along with it because that's all we know.
They think that's the only way to serve God.
That's the only way to serve God.
But I'm going to confuse you a little bit now. And I'm going to tell you something that, it's not automatic also. That what you studied
it's not.
Is your calling.
Yes, exactly.
So the fact that you have discovered yourself to be an engineer or a doctor doesn't mean that you have to remain there.
Yes.
Maybe you actually have to live there to go and do fashion design, like one of my.
But at least you do something.
No, not something.
No, I mean, no, your purpose. You find your purpose, and then you work it. Not live.
So the thing that should be commanding you, or that should be instructing your action and movement, is your choice and your decisions. Is still the knowledge that this is what I'm supposed to do. Yes. This is what I've discovered myself to be made for.
Yeah, but then some people have discovered it, but they've had to leave it because they've been told that.
That is the deception.
Yeah.
So that is the deception in the church, that you only can serve God in the church. Yeah. That is the deception. But the little aspect I am bringing in is that yes, you might have studied to be a doctor just because your daddy told you, your parents told you, you are not following that your inner. But the ultimate thing is to follow that your inner leading, which is what is planted in you, what is in your DNA.
DNA, yes.
Otherwise, you'll not be happy. You'll be passing exams, but in mathematics instead of in physics.
Yes. And then to realize that it's all to fit into the main plan of God's purpose
for your life.
For your life.
That's why you must follow it. Not just professional, where you happen to find yourself because you needed money.
Exactly.
But where your heart and your soul are taking you, and you know you are following that. That is when you are fulfilled. That's when you are in the will of God. That's where you must be. Even if all churches in the world want to make you the GO, that place is where you belong.
The biggest church.
Adiola wanted to say something. Or it tire you?
This morning I was not at the first session, but you know, life just started coming into me when this discussion started, because this was one of the reasons why I came. You know, I was telling you about the background, and I remember what Dr. Anu said yesterday, that he read medicine as a result of what was imposed on him by his parents. So for church, for so long in the church, when we were told to pray for you to know what is the purpose of God for your life, everybody, you know, you want to be spiritual about it, and you keep praying. Sometimes you say you don't even hear anything. You don't even know whether it's your body that is telling you what you are hearing, or whether it's another spirit. You know, you are just in between. You are not too sure.
Like I said yesterday, you don't even have to pray about it. You just need to study yourself.
Yes, that is the way we have been told. You go and pray, go and fast about it. Then the area I still find not yet too clear is, if you want to bring this teaching to a secular world,
yes,
so a nominal person that just wake up does not just know God exists, but it's not this.
He doesn't even know God
in
exists.
this mode. He just believes that God is one that creates all of us. But
no, he might not even
to
believe.
these details, is not exposed. So, are we going to categorize every one of them as not living? Because I want to get this thing.
Okay.
That
I mentioned it yesterday, but let me say it again.
Okay.
That even secular people already know this. You see, I'm talking about atheists. Like here, this is a country of atheists. You know, the communists.
Okay.
And you have a few of them agnostics and things like that in the West too. People who don't just say they know that there is God. I'm talking about people who say there is no God even. But they know that there is something planted in them. And they are all talking about finding purpose, finding your purpose, what is inside of you. They are even doing seminars. They are even doing trainings to help people discover what is in them. And they have their own steps too that they are using, that they are, giving to people to help them to discover who they are. Why are people going to Robbins? What's the name of Robbins? Anthony Robbins. Television. What's me? Why are people going to Anthony Robbins classes? These are mainly unbelievers who go to those places. And he's teaching this kind of principles, but not to pray to God, but to look inside themselves and discover what they have been called to do. They don't need to believe even in God, but they have to align themselves because it's in them. It is different from ambition, but because it is not too, because ambition is easier. So most people just teach about ambition, something that will make you money. But that is what people have done. But people have done that a lot. All the motivational preachers used to just teach about that. Go, this one will make you money. Go and go. Your ambition, they call it your calling. But now they have discovered that people are still not happy. Yeah. That's when they started now to discover yourself. Discover yourself is inside of you.
now, sir, to the second aspect. Now,
but they could discover themselves. They could know who they are meant to be, like Steve Jobs discovered himself. Bill Gates discovered himself. They all discovered themselves just because they were observing themselves. They were smart and reading other books that led them to that. They followed their instincts. Even when they were small, when they followed through. But that doesn't mean when they die they will go to heaven. Because if they don't receive Christ Jesus, they will still receive condemnation.
Okay, number
Yes.
2 aspect of this question that I still want to ask is, now in church, apart from the prosperity message that messed up the whole
The whole thing.
thing, you see people in church, some of them, they struggle to make end meet,
Survival.
to just,
Survival.
they are holy, they are righteous in their own mold, they do everything that you could expect of it, but things are not adding up. So this teaching, I'm just imagining how I can help people that have believed like me and they are in church, but they are not able to start this thing because they will begin to consider where to start from. That is number 2 that I want to look at. How can one start?
All over again.
Yes, to start when you know this is the real essence of your living. Then I remember in your book that I read, I didn't finish it, but it was talking about the 7 mountains that were the mountains of economy, education,
Stress of
and all those things.
influence,
And then this inferiority, like I remember a teacher that you feature in one of your
Yes.
interactives,
Testimonies.
yeah,
Mhm.
that talked about, you know, you can now begin to see how society, and because of you want to relegate somebody because you don't have money, in the sense of how the prosperity message tends to put people. So you might be a teacher indeed, and you might really be doing
Good.
your God sent, but because of the environment, you are not recognized. You feel
Because you need money.
you are pushed to the yeah. So you want to begin to run another person. You want to think that thing is not strong. I need to. These are some of the things that is.
Beautiful.
These are some of the things.
I'm going to address that question a lot this week. That, okay, how do you make a living? Or how do you combine? Or how do you start? I'm going to address it a lot.
Yeah, I just want to say that the first
You
step,
might need to stand.
the first step we have to take is to unlearn all that we have put in our brain.
Wow.
Because, yeah, that is
Wow.
what has been working for me. Consciously
Unlearning.
everything so that I can start putting new values into myself. And the moment you get there, we can, solitude is something that I just got as well. Go in, take the books, the Who Am I, and then the series, what's the series?
Calling and purpose.
The Calling and Purpose series. Lock yourself inside and soak them in. That will start the journey.
Beautiful.
And then while you are there, ask God. Because the Bible says in Jeremiah 1:5 that I knew you
Before, yeah.
from your mother's womb, before you were formed from your mother's womb, and I've appointed you, and called you to be a prophet.
Ordained you even.
Yeah, to be a prophet over nations. That means we have a purpose. Then from there, make sure that is the global part now. Get your purpose before you leave that room.
Yes.
Ask God. At least there will be a revelation in a way that would let you know that this is your purpose. And then start working in line with your purpose. Because I know one thing, the moment you get it, that purpose, that is when your life starts. That is when you live in. Because you will know that you are living. You will see, if you will remember when we went to the NGO yesterday, the lady said, this house is the heaven on earth.
Wow.
Yes. And she said, I am the happiest person on earth. You could see joy in her. With the husband, they said we are fulfilled. They are so, and I told her immediately, that was the question, one of the questions I asked. I said, I could relate with you. Because the moment you find that purpose, you will know that you have the joy. So Then what else do you have to do? Go start to organize yourself. That is the skill. The skill could be knowledge, increase the knowledge, find resources, equip yourself so that you'll be able to fit for that work that you have to do, and then start running with your purpose, because we know that God says that we have our own portion on the part of our own portion on the global purpose
Of God, yeah.
So we have to do it, because if we don't do it, we don't want to go back to our Heavenly Father and say we are sorry, I couldn't get my purpose and I couldn't do anything. It won't be an excuse. It won't be an excuse. Especially now that we are hearing it, we don't know that we're supposed to educate ourselves or put ourselves together in a solitude to get our purpose. But now we know.
Yes.
You don't have to go and be praying and fasting. Most of us have been doing it and it has never worked. Now that we know something that is working, let's all start so that we can work, with a good purpose.
So then it will be, the onus will be on all of you, each one of you then, to also educate other people and help other people to get these things. Because if you people don't help other people, not everybody will get to listen to the essay.
Yeah.
But Idire, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, actually, from this whole thing, it began to, my mind was just going around, and I just thinking of the explanation of the Lord's Prayer, which the Lord said, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth." And I figured out that because this kind of prayer have been set aside, some of the children coming up don't even know it. So that will be done on earth, which is to please God by what He has
Put in you.
We don't have this teaching. In fact, for a long time, even my little kids, recently I started teaching them the Lord's Prayer. So a lot of even the kids in the church, they don't know this. And if we understand
so what
it.
our church is doing?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the question that
Because if we understand that prayer, as we now that are even here, understand the meaning and begin to teach it with understanding, I think these ones coming behind us, we know what is the will of God that He has sent me to come and do. And they begin to question their purpose. And that we at least enlighten this generation that is coming up. But as long as we have deviated from that for so long, because I realized for a long time, we pray, but that area has never been mentioned. I learned that prayer when we were in elementary school in those days. So I think this is a very big deviation that is messing up. Yeah, thank you.
last night, I was just taking the time just to reflect on everything, and I felt like, what has the church been doing?
What has the church been doing?
And to me, I felt that the church has been destroying destinies.
Religion.
And I felt like things like this, young people, high schoolers should know this. And just like DSA said, the responsibility, I believe, is now being passed down to us to make sure that
Thank
this
God, I'm not the only one now.
message is spreading, because I have a passion for the church, and I feel like the church needs to. Some churches just need to close down. Yeah. Some churches just needs to, and I believe that there is a fading away of the old order, and that God is now bringing a new breed, a new set of people that really understand the whole essence of what the church is, and so that it's imbibing in the people's values, principles. So whenever I look at my life, I was speaking to my wife last night, and I was like, if I knew this 10 years ago, Because I was in church. I followed my parents to church. And we were not hearing, in fact, we were not even hearing anything about purpose. It's not until when God took me out of the church I'm in and sent me somewhere else. That was when I started beginning to hear about purpose. So that means a lot of people have lived their lives and never had a message about purpose.
About why God even created them in the first place and why He sent them here.
So that's why we see a high level of people focusing on self, a high level of people focusing on the enemy, not knowing that if you can just discover this one thing, that you are here for God's plan. It's not about you, it's about God and you stepping into what God has proposed for you to do and you going out. I mean, it's like, I was just seeing that the whole essence of church, like some people are going to church and it's not helping them. It's just destroying them. It's just tearing them apart. And I was like, wow, so you can have a purpose and then you just walk into a church and the moment you walk in there, you are finished. So that means to that person, it's better for that person not even to go to church at all.
Now you have people understanding me.
So now everything that DSA says it becomes more clearer. And anytime I come to HMT, this is what happens to me. It's like I'm getting a new understanding. I'm now beginning to understand things, and it's now telling me that I need to go back, just like Brother Chris said, that I need to go back to DSA's teaching. Now it will now begin to take root and have a clear understanding.
Yes.
This is
just no, Alan wanted to say something.
So I'm going to put a negative spin on it. I don't mean to.
Don't worry.
When you mentioned about like Bill Gates, like Steve Jobs, obviously they had a purpose in life, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll go to heaven. So how do you know?
Oh, we go to heaven.
Not just that. Just in terms of your calling. You might go through life thinking, right, this is my calling. I've been doing something for years and years and years, and you're still successful. But how do you know inside that that's still your calling?
Yeah, okay. That's when you follow your inside. But you've not read the book, Who Am I? No, okay. You need to read that book. And also you will need to maybe listen to the videos. Live, there are criteria, there are points. So they will help you to figure it out.
So okay, sorry.
I want to say something. When I grow up in a secular circumstance, I cannot remember anyone teach me about God. But I was a young girl, maybe under 10 years, and I struggled with this thought: why am I here? And nobody tells me that, but I have this insight. Why am I here?
God has put it inside all of us.
What is the meaning of life? Where did I go? I have this question. So that tells me that that's not a...
Even unbelievers, they have it and they can discover themselves. God has buried it in everyone. It's in your DNA to ask that question, to want to find out.
So the light bulb moment. When Pastor Bosse was teaching, he made some comment just in passing, but to me, it was like light just hit me. The first comment she made was that light comes to wake us up. He was talking of the light of the physical light of the day, that when the light comes, that we will wake up, our body will just know that it's time to wake up. But for me, it just dawned on me that the reason why we are receiving this light now is because we have been sleeping and we should wake up. But she went on to say again that those who wake up early are the ones that that seize the opportunity. So light can come and you still be sleeping instead of you to wake up. And if you wake up on time, that is the only time you seize that opportunity. So that is the responsibility that you are talking about. The responsibility rests on us. What do you do after you leave HMT? Are you going to wake up, or are you going to remain
Keep on sleeping.
in bed sleeping?
Wake up and wake up.
Exactly. And for the first time, as our sister was talking, a light on the Lord's Prayer just dawned on me. For the first time. You know, we say that Lord's Prayer and we just say it. You know, it says that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But the next verse says, give us this day our daily bread. Why? The daily bread is not just physical bread, but give us what it takes to establish that will on earth.
It's connected to the will.
It's
Everything
connected
is
to
connected
the
to the
will.
will of God.
But we just prayed and we think that we are asking God to give us our daily bread, when you go to work, our daily bread. But the daily bread, because remember Jesus Christ said, I am the bread that came down from heaven. So he said, give us our daily bread. He's saying, give us that thing, that tool, that life,
It's talking about
the resources to establish your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. My eyes was like, oh my
Give
God.
us everything I need daily for this purpose.
For this
today.
purpose. So everything is tied to the will of God for our lives. Yes.
So when
Thank God we are discussing this, because in discussion, we have different light, because everybody is sharing.
yeah, and you were
Where
saying
is the young man from England? Ian?
it's a bit poorly.
Is he okay? Maybe you people should be checking on him sometimes. Okay.
Yeah. When DNA say, I said DSA says it's in your DNA. Your life's purpose is in your DNA. You connect to what God, the plan and His purpose for you here. And you said the fact that you've gone to school to study something does not necessarily mean that is your purpose. You're very right, because I studied engineering because my mom wanted me to be an engineer, but I never found fulfillment in it. And I've come over a couple of years, few years, to find out that what my main joy and happiness and stuff that I can do without anybody paying me is people. Wow. My love for people. I just like to make people happy.
See, Alan, that is one of the many points of how to know that is actually your purpose. What is it that I will joyfully do without even being paid for it? And I will still feel as if I've eaten. I will still be so fulfilled. But that's just one. Maybe you have about 20 other points.
Yeah. I mean, I did work in engineering for a short while and I was paid, but doesn't give
You will leave the payment.
I'll leave the payment just to help people and to love people, so it's in the DNA, and you just know that it's right.
But for some people, for some other people, that engineering is what is in their DNA.
Yes, yes. It is what is in their DNA. So even though I studied it and I can work with it, but it doesn't fulfill me. And I don't fulfill God's purpose for my life in His bigger picture. For me, it's not engineering. For some other person, it could be that. So it just gives me goosebumps, and I just feel like screaming. I just feel like shouting. And like you said, now that we've heard it, we need to go and wake other people up now. So we need to go into all the world now and, let people know. Because I never knew. I kept on wondering, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? you know, work-wise, but not with the bigger, now this pyramid.
Everything has to come out from
Yes,
his will, from his purpose.
So it has given me a clearer picture, you know. It is wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling.
And you know, today I was talking with a friend of mine. This man is one of the top financiers in the whole world. I mean, he works with IMF, World Bank, Federal Reserves, you know, top guy. So, and he just had something in his hand that is going to be up to maybe $1 trillion or something. And what he said is that I only have one desire. My computer, that's what he uses to do his financial stuff. And a bush, forest, bush, or farm. Just go and put me, I need somebody to go and put me away. Just lock me away in the farm. But so that I have all the internet and my computers. I don't want to see people, I don't want sound, I don't want travel, I don't want a restaurant, I don't want, just build me a center where I can wake up, go to bed, wake up, and have my computer and internet, but just put me in the bush somewhere. So he's based in Europe, he wants to go and build something in the forest in Africa, just by himself, just to computer. That kind of money, he's not interested in anything. What it means to find your... Well, that's in his DNA. I said, I can travel now. He said, you cannot get me out. I'm not interested. I have work to do. You know, when someone finds purpose, that's what happened to Bill Gates. He was so purposeful. He knew what his calling was, that he was thinking that the Harvard, where he was studying, was a waste of time. Was a distraction. Mark Zuckerberg, all of them. They had found. This is what Ola was saying. I can spend time with people and love people, and that's where she. But in the engineering, I don't even. But here, I don't even need money. This guy has all the money. He doesn't even need. He said, I don't need. He doesn't want to enjoy. We are thinking that money is to enjoy, but you know, he just wants to give, just not so that nobody distracts me, so that I could just do my work.
It reminds me of something. When I get birth to my first child, I was so amazed, surprised, when I see this child. Everything was finished. Everything was finished. The finger, the ear, the color, everything. And I think I don't have to do anything. I just want to encourage him, teach him, give him food, because it was in his DNA.
Wow.
So yes.
This when you got a baby?
Yes, I was so amazed. Oh, everything is finished. Everything is finished. I just want to give him food and teach him, of course, encourage him, but everything is finished.
The fingers are there, the eyes are there, the ears are there, the legs are there, the ear is there. Everything is already packaged. That is how calling is too.
Yes.
God has packaged everything. Yes. Just like He packaged everything in you physically, He packaged everything in you calling wise and purpose wise also. Everything is in your DNA.
Yes.
Even for that child to become a father, a mother, is already packaged in it. It's stored in there, yeah. And for that child to fulfill his calling, is packaged inside. For that child to discover his purpose, is packaged inside. For that child to be able to do everything he needs to do on his life journey, is already packaged inside. It's in DNA.
Yes.
That's why we must learn to discover who am I? Because we get distracted by it. That's why we don't discover. Because we have been distracted chasing out our other things. That's why self-education is one of the most important things we could ever do. Go find out what you need to do and how. That's why self-education is necessary. Is this all not beautiful?
Very beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, let's go back to the pyramid. So the main values of life is now clearer.
Yes, sir.
We come from him. And because we come from him, we are made by him. He's the one who programmed us to do his will, to do things for him. So the only reason why we're here and what we're supposed to be doing here is to be carrying out the program that he had packaged us to do, that he intended before he sent us to this world. You see, God doesn't do anything without having a goal for it, a purpose for it. It is we who are spontaneous, sporadic, and what do you call it? Impulsive. God is not an impulsive God. God is very calculative. You know, God doesn't do anything without a purpose. God doesn't begin church. He doesn't do anything just randomly. He doesn't just step here and just say, oh, I forgot. I didn't get to go to the other side. No. God is if you want to, it's a perfect intelligence. God is, he doesn't make mistakes. So he works out, he plans out everything perfectly. And one of the things you have to know about God is that anything that he allows to happen, anything that he does, he has not just only knows what he wanted, but he has planned it out and finished it in his mind. He has completed it before he even starts. So for all of us, he would not even create you if he had not finished the purpose and he had not put in you, he had not found out why he wanted to create you. So you are just a creation to carry out that assignment that he already had intention of finishing. You are a tool to be used to carry out his purpose. So for example, let's say in my own case, 90 years ago or 92 years ago, communism happened in the former Soviet Union. Darkness came. For 90 years or 70 years before I came in, so 70 years, people of this land and of these countries were crying, weeping. They told them there was no God, but they were still suffering and yearning for light and for deliverance. So people were being killed, sent to Siberia. This was 70 years ago, before my mother was born. Maybe, it's 90 years ago, sorry. Before my mother was born. Before my father was born. 100 years ago, when all these things happened. So when God started hearing the cries and the tragedies of all the people, God heard them 70 years back. He decided to send a solution, that a time will come that there will be somebody, he needed to give birth. So the needs have come up to him, and he needed to give birth to solution for somebody to be packaged, because all the people who were created before then, they were already packaged for their own things. So those people were crying, the cries were going up to God. God now heard those prayers, and he said, okay, I'm now going to package somebody or some children or some people, my representative, my image, my likeness. I'm going to package, but the packaging of God, in your case in heaven, for me, it has to have neurons or neutrons or neurons and neutrons or different chemicals, atoms that would include and that will respond to Russia. So he packaged Russia abilities, skills, things that will make me to be able to adapt, to be able to function, and to be able to carry out that function, because he had had the prayer of the people that they needed deliverance, they needed the light, they needed salvation. So he packaged me to be able to communicate and function and minister effectively to these people. That was part of my package. But I didn't know, my mother didn't know, my mother was not born, my father was not born, I was not born, but God had finished packaging. So one day, my father was born, my mother was born in different places. They met and decided to they fell in love, but they fell apart as well. They only lived together for 6 months. But in that 6 months, for some reason, pregnancy happened. And they never saw each other again. Because only his DNA and her DNA. Those were the only things that were needed, not the marriage, not the family, as we are worshiping family these days. That is why even a rape that ends up in pregnancy. Don't despise anything. Don't despise anything. So I never saw that father. Even my mother, I never saw. But God had arranged all that things. The person who is going to, okay, the DNAs were needed just from these two people. But God also had arranged the person to bring up, the conditions to be brought up in, the experiences, unique experiences to cultivate and bring about that feeling of compassion, love for people, the suffering that will make you to understand other people's suffering. And yeah, it's part of your path of preparation to help wake up all those neutrons and atoms and that were put in you for that purpose. So that's why, but those are the natural causes. But when you now begin to get cognition, understanding, when you now begin to grow up, it is now your obligation to now look inside yourself and say, okay, what is my leading? What is my inclination? And then, because of that inclination that you already have, seek how to sharpen it. And that's what dictates where you go to get education. That will enhance and strengthen the natural calling, inclination that is in your DNA. But because of egocentrism, people tell you other stories. This one will pay more, this one will pay less, this one is a good one. But they don't let you know you. They want to let you know mammon. So the spirit of mammon hijacks you. You just become deaf to your natural inclinations. And you are lost all through life. You'll never be happy. Even though you're making money, you're doing things. So what I'm trying to say is that your makeup, I used to be concerned that I was not tall when I was a young boy. But my makeup I was packaged like this for what I needed to do. Somebody could be concerned that he's big. But your makeup is necessary if you will be able to embrace it for what you needed to do. Somebody might be concerned that he was born in a certain country. But if I had not been born in Nigeria, I would not have the temperament that is needed to wake up the Russians. If I had been born here, I would have been like them. And now, because I also have other commitment that I have to do, God also arranged it in such a way that I would learn some other things that I couldn't use I couldn't get to learn in Africa. And now use my experience of my first level of assignment to now train me to acquire more knowledge that I will need to function in other assignments that I need to go for. But the key is for you to follow his leading, to be obedient, to be pliant, to know that you are not your own. You are a servant, you are a slave. That's why Paul always says, Paul, a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ. We are a servant of his purposes on earth. We are stewards of his purposes. So we got the main values of life, or the main missions of life, the mission of life, right? That's level 1. Level 2, I think we got that as well. Global life purpose, which is my global purpose. Now, what is the difference between the global life purpose and general plan? Now, when it comes to global life purpose, it's talking about what you find in yourself that you are supposed to do. And how you could, the description of it. It could be 10 things, 100 things, but it's all, you know what you're supposed to do. Put it down. We are basically going to tell you how to do it now. So I'm going to take you through all those steps one by one on how to do them. But right now, I'm just giving you a quick introduction. So the general plan is different from the global purpose. Global purpose is about your purpose, defining your purpose, discovering and defining your purpose. But the plan, the general plan, are plans. The purpose is what you want to do, what you know God has called you to do. But the plan is breakdown of it. Because if you just have that plan, that purpose, it will remain a dream if you don't put a plan to it. So you are supposed to be an engineer, but engineering is vast and big. But you will know where is it going to be motor engineer or plane engineering, or is it going to be computer electronics engineering? So you have to put that. So the global purpose is, let's say, engineering. But the general plan is now a breakdown of this is what I'm supposed to. But from here now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, read what is the explanation that is there beside. Can you see the explanation beside? That will help us. So let's start.
Concept or formula to plan life goals. Number 1, the main values of life: calling, dream, mission.
But mission means what God intended. Yeah. So we are servants of God, we are creation of God, we are supposed to live for God. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All of us live to fulfill his will. Right, but you hear on this level, we are not talking about your own concrete yet. We are talking of the general plan. What are you obsessed by? Everybody is supposed to be. This is something that is greater than you. This is living for something that is more than you. So God's purpose is more than your life. And anything that is more than you is the goal, is the ultimate, is the priority. So if it's more than your life, if God's mission, God's purpose is more than your life, it means that your life is only a tool. Your life is only a tool to service that God purpose. So we get that. All right, so second stage.
Number 2, global life purpose or vision.
Okay, so what is the difference between mission, the life mission, the main value of life or mission from God, and your own vision, you see? Or your own global life purpose, your own vision, your own purpose. So the whole world needs to serve God, but I want to serve God through engineering because that's what I found in me. The whole world is supposed to please God, but I want to please God through the God's preaching of the gospel. That's what I found in me. The whole world is supposed to please God. I don't know how they are going to do it, but what I discover in me is true politics. That is now talking about your global, but it is still global. Politics is still global. Engineering is still global. All right? Now let's go to plan, general plan. So from global plan, I mean, from global purpose, you go to general plan. So what is the difference between global purpose and general plan?
Number 3, general plan, which includes methods to achieve the goals or tools and resources or wealth.
So there are 3 things in general plans. First of all, the most important word there is plan. But it's still general, but plan nevertheless. So that passion for engineering, you now need knowledge to say, okay, I know there are different levels of engineering. So what are the different engineerings that are there? What are the things that are closer to my heart? So you are already having a plan. Okay, plan means, okay, so this is engineering I want. So I'm not going to Institute of Mechanical Engineering. I'm going to Aviation Engineering. That's a plan. Because if it's just engineering, so instead of mechanical engineering, I'm going to, so you are now more concrete, specific. So it's more specific here. Plan, this includes your general plan. It's still general, it's going to be more detailed later, but at least the initial plans, methods that you want to see to get to that plan goal that you are going, and then the possibilities, tools that you want to use. I need to go to university, I need to get that knowledge, or I need to, get this experience, So those are the basic general plan, tools, resources, methods. You got it? But do you have it photographed or written down? Because you will need to write it down. We will get to a place when I finish telling you the example and showing you my own life example, then I will say, now go and write your own. This is how we are going to move. It's going to be very practical today. Okay, next one. So after the general plan.
Number 4, long-term plan. Long-term, that is 20 to 25 years.
Okay, wait. So when you see general plan, did you see length? What number of years there? No. You don't. But then when you get to long-term plan, you already see concrete. So it's more concrete than general. Okay. So long-term plan.
Number 4.
I'm supposed to finish now, right? Okay. When am I finishing? 2:00? All right. Well, we just finished this.
Long-term plan. Long-term, that's 20 to 25 years. And intermediate goals, 5 to 10 years. Number 5, short-term plan.
So after long-term plan, then you go to short-term. No, it's still part of short-term plan. Then you go to, long-term plan. After long-term plan, you go to short-term plan.
That's 1 year.
That's 1 year plan now.
And 6, plan for the day.
Now, when you read, if you make a mistake of reading those too much of motivational books, you will think that you are supposed to start planning your day. Because it's the reverse. They don't know. They don't know that life starts with God's and His intention for you, and it is from there you plan down. But what they tell you is that plan your day to 1 year, and then to 10 years, and then to no, that's not the way to do it. This is a major difference. So when you plan from today, for next month, for 2 months, for 1 year, then you are moving, you are always failing. You are always saying that, even though I try to do something, but you are not planning around ideology. You are planning around activities. So you put activities higher than purpose, goal. But activity is supposed to come out of purpose and goals. It is the goals and purpose of where you are going to that dictates the corresponding activities that are needed to get there. I don't know if you are getting it.
Get you, sir.
This is very important. This particular point is very important here. So we go from God's purpose to my purpose, then to daily plans. So before we go, I just want to hear your feedback from this particular, what you got from this little summary, resume about That the fact that we don't plan, daily plan. This is not what we are talking. Because when you read books about time management, he's talking about 24 hours. Then 1 week, then 1 month. He's planning from today there. But you see, this is different. We are going to teach you how to do it, this one. How to plan from heaven to today. So, but what they teach you in those books is plan from today to there. But we are not going to do like that. So I want to make sure, if anybody wants to comment, please comment, because I want to make sure that you got this. This is very key. You don't plan from today, from the day. You plan from.
Yes, sir. I just, I'll say this and I'll say something else. The planning from the day is part of what has also been my confusion, because the feeling I get when you do that, like you said, you are planning daily, weekly, monthly, but at the end of the day, it's like your plan is going
everywhere,
just scattered, going into different direction, because it's not coming from a particular place, then you now walk back to it. But this has just brought a lot of clarity. But one other thing I just want to say, and I just feel it in my heart to say it, is to say, I just want to say thank you very much, sir, for what you are doing. You don't know, you honestly don't know what you're doing. You are making a massive impact in our lives. And not only that, I don't know if anybody has seen on Facebook, it's an academy, they call it Mind Valley Academy. Is this one Indian guy in America that invites people to talk on things similar to this. And there's a guy he invited, I remember the name, you know the guy. He charges $7,000. $7,000, I think, for about 3 or 4 days. You pay your flight ticket, you pay your hotel bill, you still pay $7,000 to come and hear what you are teaching us now. And the God factor is still not there. So I'm saying, because I know the value of what you are telling us, and that's why I'm taking it very seriously. And that's why I told myself, irrespective of what happens, I cannot miss this HMT. Because people will just hear this thing now, they won't pay so much attention. But if you know the value and the worth of what you are getting, it's just go to Facebook and check it. It's called Mind Valley Academy. There's a particular speaker that he invites so many people to come and speak. But that particular guy, $7,000 is what he charges. In fact, there was the time when he was doing it on the internet openly, and he was saying that, okay, he's not going to charge $7,000 because it's open, but he was still charging, I think, $1,200. And people were willing, paying for it. But this is something we are just getting, and please, let's attach so much value to what we are hearing, because this is something we will not get just anywhere freely.
Beautiful.
I just want to say thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Hooray!
And I was going to mention something. So now I have never been big on planning. I have never been taught how to plan. I was telling Pastor Bosse that I'm big on organizing. I know how to organize myself, but on planning, no. But this is what I found out about this, the way you've structured this plan. The world will teach you to plan from the day. It teaches you to be egocentric, because your activities is just you focusing on yourself. When we should actually start from where we come from God, which is where we should always start from planning. I just wanted to chip that in. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, DSA. Like what he said, all I'm always thinking about is my plan from now till what will I live on retirement, because of the danger of the kind of work we do. But from the understanding of what I got here now is that my plan for now should start from, even from the very purpose why I'm here first. So that is what I should discover. And based on that purpose, every other thing should come.
You got it.
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
You got it.
I'm going to read all your books.
This concrete decision. Concrete. Concrete. Now you know why self-education. In the beginning, I said in the first day that there is nothing more important than self-discovery and self-education. That is more important than money. It's more important than job. It's more important than children. It's more important than wife. It's more important than faith in God. That you now see. That's why you said, "I'm going to read all the books. I'm going to read all the books," because you got it now. Now your eyes have opened. How I wish everybody's eyes were open like this. Because you now know I need to discover myself. And the books I recommend for this particular teaching today is Your Tomorrow Depends on the Actions You Take Today. So reading is one of those main actions. Then the second book that I recommend for this teaching is Create Your Own Net Worth. Create Your Own Net Worth. So those are the two books I recommend for this particular teaching. When am I coming back? 8 o'clock?
No, 3 o'clock.
I come back in 3 o'clock. That's in 30 minutes time. Okay. In 40 minutes time or 45 minutes time. Okay. So we'll continue that's a good thing, because then we'll just pick up from where we...
I'm excited.
Okay. From where we stop. So I will be back in 45 minutes. So, Bye, you want to say bye-bye? Or?
Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a very interesting session as usual. We're coming back in just 45 minutes, so please join us. You've already seen the reaction here with the delegates. I'm looking forward to the next session, so please join us too. Take care. Bye.